Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Wednesday, the first day of June, 2022. It is Wednesday of the 7th and last week of Easter. It is also the memorial of St. Justin Martyr, one of the earliest of our church's theologians, somebody who wrote in the first century, or second, the second century, wrote to the Emperor Antonius Pius, trying to put down and put away a lot of the accusations, a lot of the scandal, a lot of the rumors, a lot of the gossip, a lot of the misconceptions that people had been circulating about Christianity and what it was about. That Christians were not crazy, that they were people who were law-abiding, that they were people who would be good citizens of the empire, and all those kinds of things. Christians can be very crazy, of course, but Justin was trying to show the emperor that there was nothing to fear from us. In his writings is one of the first descriptions of the first that we have on record, or an early description of a celebration of the Mass, celebration of the Eucharist, the understanding of moving from word to table, something that we continue to do today in our celebrations of liturgy, to hear God's word, to gather around the table, and then to be sent forth to be what it is that the word and the table have nurtured us, have enriched us, have challenged us, have called us to be. Justin writes about these things, so we have kind of an early understanding of the church's practice that, again, as we practice today, is very ancient. Coming to you again, this is the Purini Fountain behind me, because it's going to be another scorcher here in North Carolina, and so this is one of the only, I think it's the only water feature that we have on the campus, and it's quite lovely. They finally put a filter, there it is in the corner, into this so that it kind of cleans itself out a little bit more. So it's a nice place to come by, to put your feet in, and to sit, maybe, and to reflect, especially on these hot days here. Again, the Purini Fountain is in the courtyard near the part of the early church, our first church here at St. Francis. And it is very quiet today, because behind me on this side is the preschool, and preschool let out for the summer on last Thursday, I think it was. We had graduations on Friday from preschool going into kindergarten. And so it is very quiet this morning. It is a Wednesday, though, and community mass, school mass, the second to the last of our school masses for the Franciscan school will begin in a couple of minutes. In today's readings, Paul is in the city of Miletus, which is on the coast of Turkey, one of the wealthiest of the Greek city-states at the time, now just a ruin. But he is there, and he was, again, bringing the gospel, evangelizing the Jewish community there, the Gentile community there, and basically he tells them, I have given you what you need to know. And kind of, in some ways, he tries to say, it's no longer my business what happens after this. I've kind of given this to you for you to live, for you to embrace, and for you to be faithful to, because I told the truth. And we always remember that. I told you the truth, I gave you the truth. And don't believe those who may come about trying to distort it, trying to corrupt it, trying to make it into something that it is not, because this is what I have given you, and it is true. So again, already in Paul's time, there were people who were trying to have weird and different ideas about Christianity and Christ and what it meant to be a believer. And Paul is asking the people to be on guard and to be vigilant, against that. It is, in many ways, Paul will go from here to the coast of Israel, to the eastern part of the Mediterranean, and he will have one last defense before the Sanhedrin, the Jewish Council of Elders in Jerusalem, and from there he will go to Rome to seek an appeal because of the verdict that the Sanhedrin levels against him, that he's teaching nonsense and whatever, and that's where he will end up in Rome and then eventually be martyred. But for now, in Miletus, this is one of the more touching of all the passages in the Acts of the Apostles, because it ends with Paul praying with the community there, and the community weeping, because as it says, they will never see him again. And that is a wonderful kind of acknowledgement of the fact that Paul could be horrible, irascible, an unpleasant person to be with, really difficult in his mannerisms and in his ideas. He could be bossy and prudish and what have you, but yet somehow the community in Miletus found a tenderness in their hearts to embrace him. And because he is departing, they are going to miss him terribly, and not see him ever again. Again, it says something, even the most difficult of people to live with in our lives, can have redeeming qualities that some people may be able to show us, so that we might be able to maybe show them a little bit of love. And showing love is really, again, where Jesus continues to leave us all this week. Love that leads to unity. And again, as these Last Supper discourses continue, Jesus speaks about us being left in this world, not being taken apart from it, because we must demonstrate to this world what it means to be a people who are united, a people who are united in love, in forgiveness, in understanding, in care, for one another. Especially in this world in which we live today, the need for unity, the need for understanding, the need for forgiveness, the need for love, the need for respect, is so much present, and needs to be attended to, and needs to be embraced, and needs to be refined. All these kinds of things, we as believers are meant to be instruments of. Jesus also, again, prays that we not fall prey, again, to all of those who will try to distort, what it is that we believe into what it is not. Because it is so easy, perhaps, for many to do so, and so easy to do so when those who do not understand fully what it is that we believe, again, fall entrapped, to them. Jesus prays not that the world is bad or against the world, but again, that the world just cannot accept who it is that we are and what it is that we believe, and that we may persevere always in the midst of that. To be people who are true to what it is that we believe are people who understand that love, forgiveness, respect, understanding, giving, not being judgmental, and constantly having mercy towards one another are what truly make us human, what allows the human race to thrive and to survive, allows it to achieve its own destiny, a destiny that resides always with the hope of resurrection that Christ has given us. A blessed Easter, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord continue to give you his peace.